Thank you so much for participating in the interview. But I got a couple of questions that popped up in my mind while after we finished. So, talk about like the drama between prison wives. Like, do you guys got like your own little separate groups that you only hang out with, or is there any stories you want to say about other prison wives? You don't gotta say names or anything like that, but can you say something?
So, I mean, I keep pretty much to myself, but obviously there's, other prison wives that do kind of like, hey, I mess with this person, I'm not gonna mess with these other ones just because, it's a lot of drama and all that shit. One of the stories that I could possibly tell you is some dude got caught up, you know, talking, how do I say this? He got caught up through the girl that he was talking with, in other words. So, the girl ended up hitting up the other girl through Instagram. You know, they kind of the girl had a business, right? She had her business, so the girl that got hit up by that girl was basically wanting to surprise her man, just to come to find out that she was talking about the same man. So she hit her up and everything, and she was like, hey, you know what, like, I want to go ahead and make something for him. Can you go ahead and, do something, our picture and everything? She's like, okay. So she's like, so who's your man? She's like, oh, what's this person? So she didn't basically like tell her right then and there that, hey, that's my man too, type of thing, because it was just a page that was a business page. So there was no pictures of them or her, anything. So in other words, she didn't know who was running that page. She had no idea who was running that page. So when she hit her up and was like, hey, I need you to can you go ahead and do this for my man? It's a surprise for him, so don't let him know. Because she was considered
Uh-huh.
she was considered a so she said, okay. She went along with it. She told her, yeah, you know what, I'll go ahead and do the, whatever you want. So she ends up asking her for her address and everything and goes with it. And she didn't end up going over there because it was too far or whatever. But she ended up telling her, like, hey, you know what, like, we're talking about the same dude. So this girl was with him for, I want to say she was with him for like 10 months, almost a year. And the
Side
other
girl or
girl,
the main girl?
the main girl was with him for like 10 months or almost a year. And the other girl was with him for like 8 months, I want to say. So they were 2 months
Same
apart.
time,
Yeah,
pretty much.
yeah. So they were together. He was being with both of them at the same time, which she didn't understand because she's like, how? Because how does he manage? If he was talking to her all day, so where did this other one come along? So when they started putting one and one together, it came to the point where they put the times together. So the time where he would hang up on her, he would go and call the other one
Back to back.
back to back. He would send the same messages to both of them. So when it all came out, he was kind of put on the spot to where I don't want to say that he had a choice, because the other girl, she was like, I'm cool, I don't need that shit.
Yeah.
So when her and the other girl, because they ended up talking just because the other girl didn't know. So when she told her everything, like, I mean, a woman knows. A woman knows when somebody does things, purposely or intentionally. Like, us as a woman, we could feel like, hey, you know what, she already knew what was going on, so she did the shit on purpose, or maybe she really didn't fucking know. And in that point, she didn't know. So
It
once
was legit.
it was a legit up, So she was just like, what? They both didn't know what to do. So since they both didn't know, the main one was kind of like, what do I do? Should I continue this? Should I not? Whatever. The other one had already said, you know what, I'm cool. So she kind of like, she continued, talking to him, whatever. At this point, the other girl already knows, he has somebody. She didn't care, so she continued to talk to him behind her back now.
So even though she told the main girl, well, she told the other girl, because who knows who's the main one to him at this point. She told the other girl, like, yo, do whatever you want, I'm straight on this food. But low key kept chopping it up with him.
Yes. So at that point, when the main girl found out that she was talking to him, that's when she was like, you know what, fuck this, like, I'm cool. So that's like her basically, like I said in the beginning, it's like, okay, well, she didn't know, I'm sorry, whatever, and then after she's like, well, I don't even care, I'm going to continue this relationship because that's what I want. So that's what happened with that. They ended up breaking up and everything, and, she ended up marrying him. They're married. They ended up getting married and stuff, and now the girl's, married to somebody else too.
Oh, okay. I was gonna say, dang.
Yeah. So they all kind of,
And you know these two people.
yes, I do.
That's fucking vicious.
Yeah.
We don't need no names. We don't care who her man is, what
Yeah.
prison he's in. We don't care about none of that shit. So then, needless to say, you're more to yourself. You're more quiet.
I am, just because I see stories like this, and it's always been me keeping to myself, just because there's a lot of grimy girls out there. There's a lot of people there's a lot of haters. If they see you doing good or being happy, they're going to do whatever they can to ruin that. So even when it comes down to I don't post when I'm going to go visit my man. I post after I came back home. I don't post when I'm going to have my family visit, because somebody in there might try to fuck it up, or somebody out here might do something. It comes back with a lot of that. And this prison wife community, especially on TikTok, it's a big thing. There's girls that bash on each other. There's girls that they just really don't care.
But about what? Oh, I
About,
know my man's fucking this.
yes,
Whatever.
exactly. It's that's what happens when you're putting yourself out there. You're not just putting you, but you're putting him out there. So if it comes down to where he's gonna f up, it's gonna come back, one way or another. Because like I said, this community is big. That, for example, some other story. This girl, it comes down to what I told her earlier, where the whole GTL shit, where this girl found this dude. She searched him up. She found him. She hit him up. He told his wife, this dude was going around, you're not sent at one prison. They get sent to different prisons. So he was at one prison at one point where this girl hit him up. In between that time, and this was in between, I want to say 3 months, he got sent to 2 other prisons. So he was in 3 prisons within these 3 months. That girl that hit him up ended up having a dude in both different prisons. And let me tell you, these prisons are from 2 to 8 hours away from each other. So this girl didn't only hit him up, but she already had a man at one prison, and then she has another man at another prison. So this girl's really just hopping around from dude to dude, thinking they're not going to find out because they're at different prisons, obviously. But this prison shit is small. They're going to find out.
For sure.
So.
Like I was saying, I know you keep to yourself and you're pretty low key. What's a story you could say about a girl being spiteful to other prison wives for no reason? You're just going out of her way to be a bitch to someone else. You know what I mean?
One thing that I've seen is girls threaten the guys to call the prisons, to basically snitch them out type of shit.
Like blackmailing.
Yeah. There's girls that will do that. I've seen a lot of shit, being posted like that, hey, this shit happened, and there she goes questioning, what should I do? You think I should do this? And there go other girls oh yeah, just go ahead, fuck him, and this and that. So there's girls that are actually pushing it, yeah, just do it. You know what I mean?
Any other stories you want to tell about the scandalousness of other prison wives?
Not really that I could think of. It's just more it comes down to that, to be honest with you. It's just them they're not happy with their relationship, and they start to dig. They start to dig and stuff, and it's all bad.
Thank you so much for your time today, Jay. Look forward to seeing you soon. Get you up.
Okay.